Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel for another replay analysis. Today we're going to be doing an analysis in 2v2 for a Grand Champion 1 whose name is Mbappe to RMA. Mbappe. I'm just going to call him Mbappe. I like it. Yeah, let's get right into it. He didn't really leave any details of himself or his strengths and weaknesses in Discord like people usually do, so I don't really have anything to go off of, but that's alright. See how this goes. Okay, right away, we partied up. Not partied up. It's preferential whether you want to cheat or go for boost on kickoff. I'm fine with either. It's more common to cheat and just to soft cheat so that you can get back if you need to, but you're also giving yourself the opportunity to get early possession of the ball and possibly just score a free open net sometimes by cheating. So you don't have to cheat. Definitely okay to not. Yeah, it is more common to cheat than to not cheat, but okay, yeah. So I'm fine if you want to go for this ball, but that boost is up in the replay. It's bugged right now, showing that it's not up, but that boost in midfield is up. Definitely, you should not be pathing towards that boost. This should 100% be your teammate's boost. You just got the back corner. You're still on 82 as you're pushing up field. Probably could have maintained 100 as you pushed up field had you been pathing over pads better, right? That pad right there that you just missed, definitely want to, even if you just grabbed a full boost, your goal should always be while moving around the field to keep your boost as high as possible. Try to keep your boost tank full by not only picking up the big boost pads when you can, but also picking up the small pads as you're boosting around the field and as you're moving around the field. Definitely could be on 100 boost right now instead of 82, and while it's not a huge difference, it is nice to have 100 versus 82. So yeah, definitely don't path over that mid boost like you are. Like if you're gonna go for this ball, you should just be following this path of pads in front of you again, so we can keep our boost full, maintain our speed as high as possible by feathering boost if we need to, if we're turning a little bit and losing some speed, because you maintain your speed if you're at supersonic. If you're at supersonic, you maintain your speed as long as you don't turn too much. So if we turn enough to reduce our speed, then we feather our boost, and it's no problem because we're pathing over pads as we're moving upfield. So let Crispy come and get this mid boost, then he can have 100 boosts supporting you as you go to push and challenge this ball. So you end up pathing over this way like you wanted to take that boost even though you didn't need to, and then last second you saw that, oh, okay, Crisp is going for this boost, I'll leave it for him. So it was just like an unnecessary sort of scramble there between you and your teammate, kind of getting in each other's way because you were going for that boost originally when you didn't need to. Definitely wanted to see you push this ball. Let your teammate, just because you had better speed and you would have been there first, boom, we're pathing over the pads in front of us instead of going for the mid boost, and we're chasing down All Sanity right now. All Sanity probably can either demo him or play the ball as he goes for the boost, right? He's probably going to leave that boost, or he's probably going to leave that ball to grab the boost for a split second. And in that moment, we can either go for a demo on him or steal the ball away from him. So either one available by pushing him instead of going for this mid boost. Let's try to take a better 50 here. So I was gonna maybe point out that, okay, maybe don't challenge because you are last man, your teammate's still in front of the play. But in this position, All Sanity really isn't threatening. You can definitely get a 50-50 on this ball, and then by the time you do, Chris will definitely be back. So this is a fine challenge to take as, technically last man, because your teammate's gonna have plenty of time to get back. But we can definitely take a much better 50-50 here. We get very far off to the side of the ball as we take this 50, and we're just allowing the ball to get forced past us. Instead, what I want to see us do here on this challenge is take this 50-50 with the intent of keeping it close, right? We want to get We want to get sort of a 50-50 with the side of our car, kind of doing a side flip into the ball here to really keep the ball close. We've got a lot of boost. We can see in the replay that he's got a pretty similar amount of boost as well, but we're on their end, so it's sort of advantageous to us if we keep this ball close and we're both on about the same amount of boost. We're on their end, so it's advantageous to us. Yeah, so bottom line, just a poor 50-50. Definitely want to try to keep this more controlled, keep it close, and fight for possession here so we can hopefully maintain some offense rather than take a really bad 50-50 and just now we're on defense. Nice touch. Okay. Ooh. All right, we got that move. We got that move. Okay, not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well defended. Slightly missed the boost, unfortunate. It was really close. It actually looked like we got it, but unfortunate. Okay. So not the best positioning on the backboard here. If we're going to defend this from the backboard, right, we were kind of unsure whether we want to defend this from the backboard or the ground, which honestly is fair. I think you'd be fine on the ground or the backboard in this play. Honestly, I almost would say I prefer to defend this from the ground, to be honest, because it's sort of more threatening to be on the backboard, and here's why, in my opinion. Now, the backboard is fine as well, but I think it's just slightly harder to defend the backboard in this position, and perhaps at slightly higher ranks, the backboard might become more necessary to utilize. But what I'm envisioning here is this angle that he's got right now. There's really no solo play that he can make that creates excuse me, no solo play that he can make that creates space between the wall and the ball, right? Any play that he makes in the position he's in, the ball sort of has to hug the wall, right? So if he makes the solo play, he's really only got one plane to attack from, right? The ball is going to be coming in this area, and we can cover that pretty easily. Now, if he gets behind the ball and passes it out, we're in a really good position here to be able to intercept that. However, with where we go on the backboard, I think it's pretty clear how that becomes slightly harder of a position to defend the pass, right? If we're on the backboard here and he passes it out, it's just more work. We can still defend it, definitely, but I think it's harder. And I think if we're playing like the weighing game of like pros and cons of which position is better in this case, right? The solo play is easy to defend. The pass is easy to defend from the ground. Whereas if we go backboard, the solo play is easy to defend, but the pass is harder to defend. So I think the ground, defending from the ground here, wins out by a little bit. But nevertheless, once we do go backboard here, we do put ourselves in a very awkward spot. I mean, one, we can't really see what's going on. We're just too close to the post here. I would like to see us be more so about here, have a better vision of the play, We won't have the post awkwardly in our camera vision. And we won't also be super close to the post, where if we try to turn out and build momentum in order to save something that goes off in this direction, we're going to be very likely to do that thing where you drive over the post and then press your jump button and end up flipping on the spot, right? Because if any of your wheels are off of, I don't know if any of your wheels, or if your front wheels, or 2 out of 4 of your wheels are off of a surface when you press jump and tilt, you're gonna flip, right? So we all know it happens to us. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're defending from the post, you slightly drive off into this open space, and then once you go to jump and tilt to challenge something, you end up flipping on the spot. So you're very likely for that to happen with where you're defending from. I'm not saying to always defend from the ground instead of the backboard in that play, or in general, but in that specific play, I think you would have been better off on the ground defending that. Just recognizing that any solo play potential he had could only, like, the ball had to hug the wall pretty much, and so it was going to be very easy to defend a solo play because we could very predictably tell where the ball is going to go, and it's also going to be easier for us to defend the pass if he decides to pass. Okay. I think we're hesitating a little too much, right? We played this out really slow. I think this was a good play, but I think there's no reason to be waiting as long as you are. We sort of almost waited for this to become threatening before we committed to challenging. So if we're full speed going up the backboard and coming to intercept this, at the worst, if we went full speed, at the worst, we're getting a 50-50. At the best, we're just straight up beating him to the ball. And by hesitating, we've opened up the opportunity for him to beat us. So cut out the hesitation there. With the timing, by Grand Champion 1, you should be able to read the timing of the spacing between you and your opponent and the ball, and you should be able to tell who will get there first, or if you'll get there at the same time. And so that's definitely something that should be pretty well understood by Grand Champion 1. Let's make sure we're not falling victim to hesitation. So go challenge that. You could have already been clearing it right now, but because we hesitated, I mean, now he has the opportunity to perhaps flip into this and get it past us. He should have never had that opportunity to begin with. Okay. That's a really bad challenge because of our boost amount right now. So I like that we're trying to stay close, but once we see, again, same thing really that I just talked about. Your GC1 need to do a better job of understanding timing and position, like not positioning, but timing. Being able to tell who's going to get there first. When you're looking at the spacing between you, your opponent, and the ball, you should be able to tell, or you need to start working on being able to tell, who's going to get there first. In this play, we're 7 boosts. And play this back at full speed. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. That was a slightly harder one to read, for sure. All Sanity did a good job of getting there before you. I'll give you that. So, general rule of thumb that I'll give you to sort of enforce or to help you not get caught in this situation anyways is, if you're low boost / practically no boost, you should not be diving at a challenge. Because whether a 50-50 gets killed right where it's at, if you're no boost and the other player has boost, they just drive the ball around you and score the open net because you're last man. So we don't want to be diving in a challenge. We don't want to be diving in a 50-50 with no boost. And also, even if you don't get the 50-50 and you dive and all sanity just clean beats you like he does, because you have no boost, it's going to take you a really long time to get back. So whether you're first man or second man, diving at a play, diving at a 50-50, aerialing for a ball that's going to use all of your boost, not a good idea, because we want to always have boost to start recovering with after a challenge or after an aerial touch. If you're not going to have any boost to recover with, or you're going to lose all of your momentum after the challenge, not a good idea to go for it. And especially here, icing on the cake is we are last man. Our teammate isn't behind us yet, so we should be buying time for him to get back behind us before we challenge. If we get beat as last man in 2v2 or 3v3, when you're last man, you are the last line of defense. And so after you, it's just an open net. Excuse me, I'm kind of coming down with a little bit of the sniffles, so a little congested. Let me see this one more time. I kind of lost focus here. Okay, challenge comes out. We get beat to the mid corner boost. That's fine. Okay, that was fine. Good. Okay, so we do get kind of caught out of position here. So this happens. That's tough. Honestly, what I'm thinking about saying here is, as soon as this happens and you see that you're beat here and you can't really get to this right? I just last replay talked about when you're in this position, close down the space so that if there's a shot, and you're in a position where if they hit the shot, you can't save it, then don't just wait for the shot. Close down the space so that you can block the shot. Right? So I'm saying, like, if you find yourself in this position, jump at the ball. Don't just let them shoot, because if they shoot, it's a goal. You can't save it with the position you're in. But what I'm saying in this particular play is you can't really get there to block down the angle, to close down the space, because you just have no momentum and you're only 13 boost. So what I would probably like to see you do here is do a quick power slide here. Quick power slide. Get yourself facing the opposite post. Anytime you're defending, you want to be at one post, defending, facing the other post. That way you're covering the entire net, right? If they shoot it at you or above you, you just jump to save it. If they shoot it to the side of you, you drive forward and save it. But the way we're positioned now, waiting for a potential shot, if they shoot it off in this direction at all, we can't save it. So I just want to see you put yourself in a good defending position here as quickly as possible once we see this occur. Which, again, quick power slide, get our car facing this way, give ourselves the best chance of saving something on net here. Okay. Is that boost up in this replay or not? This is pretty hesitant again. We need to start playing a little less hesitant. So this is your ball for sure. We see both of our opponents off in our corner. This is completely our ball. Right here, we need to flip. We need to flip towards the ball. Get closer, because that should have been a clean possession here. Honestly, we should be flipping towards this pad. Ball's gonna be arriving there about at the same time as us, and from there, if we did that, let me see how this would play out. Right, we flip, we just land right here with the ball, and then we can flip into it again and push it over this mid boost that comes up. And now we're at 100 boost with full possession of the ball, and we have this guy in a 1v1. But because we hesitated, he just comes and gets a free challenge. So really got to start cutting out this hesitation. That should have been us with 100 boost and possession of the ball with this guy in a 1v1. Because we hesitated, we have 0 boost, and they have the ball. Man, we're getting rocked right now. Need to go back. Can we keep track of this other player? All sanity. All right, so he lands behind us. He's rotated out. I would just be careful here. Again, it's like we're playing too slow. If we want to go for this ball, we got to go pretty quick because we can't see the other player. We do know that they've rotated out and they've had a pretty good amount of time. So like they're set up on this end somewhere where we can't see them, but they've had plenty of time to be ready to do something. They should have boost and they are potentially either facing straight ahead at the play or are turning into the play. Let's find out. So yeah, they're turning into the play. They had a lot of time. So just slight poor awareness, poor tracking of our opponents, keeping track of where everybody is. But the real giveaway should have been, all right, I can see teammate, I can see one opponent, but I cannot see other opponent. So if we're going to commit for this ball, we need to go fast because we can't afford, again, to let this guy beat us. If we're going to commit, right, it's one thing if we let him beat us, but we don't commit, right? We just turn back and we defend, or we turn back and we grab possession of the ball after it comes out this direction. It's fine then. If you want to play more passive that way, you can. But if we're going to commit in this position, we have to go fast because we can't afford to let this guy that we can't see beat us to the ball. Because again, we're last man. So as last man, we can't afford to get beat to the ball. We can't afford to take a bad 50. We can't afford to lose possession of the ball before our teammate is behind us, etc., etc. That should have been scored. That should have been 2-0. But that would have been both of all Sanity's goals against you so far. Just beating you as last man. You got to stop getting beat as last man. Or you have to stop committing as last man. That was good. I like that you are looking for the pass. You got bumped, but I mean, honestly, that should have been a goal as well. It should still be up 2-0. But after we make that touch, right idea to drive upfield for a second, see if our teammate can hit us with the pass. Nice. Oh, missed the boost again. Unforge. Honestly, right here, I would immediately stop. I would immediately abandon going for this boost. We know he's going to steal this boost from us. So let's, as soon as possible, let's recognize that so that we can start grabbing our pads. Right here. We see he's in front of us. He's flipping towards the boost. Let's commit now rather than once we're all the way back at the net to start grabbing pads. Boom. Veer off. Start grabbing these. Happens all the time. Your opponent will steal your boost. You just got to recognize it as soon as possible so that you can start filling up on small pads instead, and it really doesn't affect you that much. So 1, 2, 3, probably like 3 or 4 pads we should have right now instead of just the one. We should have 36 to 48 boost right now instead of 12. Not bad, not bad. Well done. Boom. Okay, good passive play. Didn't overcommit this time. Nice shot. Close. Okay, let it bounce. Play the bounce. Take it a power shot here. Yeah, fair. Hard to tell whether he was coming for a challenge or not, so I don't hate the power shot. Haven't seen you make any aerial plays yet this game, so perhaps mechanics are a little lackluster right now. You are GC1. Mechanics start becoming somewhat important at around this rank, so if you feel as though your aerial mechanics are lacking or lagging behind your ground mechanics, it's definitely worth putting some time into getting better at, solo aerial plays. Take some time in free play or in training packs, work on pretty much just freestyling mechanics, and it'll improve your overall solo aerial capabilities. Flip resets, double flip resets, flip reset musties, ceiling shots. Just have fun, learn some aerial mechanics, improve your aerial capabilities. You want to be a well-rounded player, because you could have taken that for a solo aerial play. And being able to pepper in that sort of stuff, one, it will keep your opponent guessing on what kind of play you're going to be making, and it makes their life a little bit more difficult. And two, just gives you more options in different positions of how you want to play something, or what you can take advantage of. Good boost grab, easy clear. So I would like to see us clear this to our corner, right? With the touch that we make here, we're just giving the ball to Malevolence. As we see this play out, that's clearly what happens. We hit the ball too far away from us. So what I want to see you do is actually just take this touch like you did, but take it more towards our corner. Because if we maintain our speed, we can get our back corner boost and take the ball from Sanity. Play it back one more time. Good boost grab, away from Sanity. Boom. Let's get our touch right here on the ball, right? Let's think about that. I'm gonna play it one more time. We want to get this touch here, bringing it back to the corner. Boom. Yeah. So we just have to veer in for a second and flip it back this way. And we get this back corner boost, and we keep possession of the ball. That was risky to go for again. We are last man. We're having a lot of overcommitment. We're overcommitting a lot as last man in this game. Careful, right? We see this is dangerous. Sanity can flip this past us. If he was slightly more aware or slightly better, he would have probably just flicked this past us. This is a position where he can just flip off the wall, and this is past us. And we're last man. We're beat. So fortunate, honestly, that we didn't get beat as last man again here. Okay, we messed up. That's all right. Yeah, he did a good job of getting back to that ball before we could touch it. He didn't let us have a clean touch, which is well played by him. Nice. I do want to kind of go back to that play back here. So we end up leaving here, and I think it's because we're not sure if our teammate's going to hit this. I would stay postured here. I would not assume that our teammate is going to hit this because our teammate really has no play to make here. Our teammate cannot. He's coming in this direction. The ball is bouncing this direction. And so our teammate, I think, is going to be very aware that they cannot do anything here. And even if they do, if they have a lapse in judgment and for some reason touch this ball, it's going to go flying really far off behind us to where they're not going to be able to immediately score it anyways. So I want to see you hold this position here and get ready to play the bounce. Like, that was your original plan, but then you backed off because you saw your teammate rotating into the play, kind of freaked you out, kind of scared you off. But as I say, in 2v2, rotating into the play isn't as bad as in 3v3. But you have to be... And it's not as bad, but it's still not great rotating into the play. But at higher ranks, like GC1, again, this is kind of the level where you should be good enough to be able to sort of break those rotational rules and still be able to play effectively. Like, you should be able to recognize, okay, my teammate isn't going for this. They can't go for this. They have no play here. And so he's just rotating out in the fastest way possible, right? He could rotate away from the play here, but I think he was already going this way before the play was set up this way. So there's no point in him veering out and making his rotation take a lot longer. He's gonna be behind us regardless, and this was just the fastest way for him to do so. And like I said, he didn't really rotate into the play. I think the play was set up into him. So we just gotta... You gotta work on, yes, understanding the fundamentals of, rotate away from the play. If our teammate is rotating into the play, it tends to throw us off. But at these higher ranks, we need to be able to commit. If you know a ball is yours, commit for it. That's something that I've been doing a lot lately, and it's been working a lot. If I know a ball is mine, especially in 3v3, this is something that I notice a lot. Like, you have a lot of teammates in 3v3 at GC1 area that go for balls that they should not be going for. That is your ball. And so what I've been doing a lot is just, if I know a ball is mine, I'm going to commit. Because if I don't, I'm hesitating, and it's going to be worse, honestly. If you know a ball is yours, don't second guess yourself. And that's a fine line. I know that sounds weird because, right, you don't want to double commit. What if you do commit for a ball that's yours, but your teammate still goes, and now you've double committed and it's probably an open net, right? So that's the caveat. Like I said, it's sort of at this rank where you have to start being able to recognize when your teammate is actually going for a ball that's not theirs, or when they're just rotating. So in this circumstance, our teammate's just rotating out. They're not going for this ball. They have no play on this ball. So let's stay committed for going for this next touch. Ooh, this is a good chance. Teammate almost peaked. Nice. That was a pretty good play. Didn't overcommit. Tried getting the demo to give ourselves space. I'm fine with that double commit. Better for both of us to go in that play than for nobody to go. We're going to overtime? Oh no. No. Not like this. Okay, overtime. Alright, I actually don't know who wins this game. Oh, yeah, we should have committed for that boost, man. God, we have commitment issues. You have got some commitment issues, dude. Like, just commit. I mean, who should go for this boost is whoever can get there first. Whoever can get it, you know, it's not the person cheating should go, or it's not the person doing the kickoff should go. It's whoever can get there first. Whoever can collect the boost and then be on the ball faster, that's who should go. And you just got bumped straight to it. Just grab the boost and make the play on the ball. Okay, we gotta get closer here. We gotta get closer here. Playing too far back. What's our goal in this position? Everyone watching, what's your goal in this position? What time are we at in the video? Whatever time we're at in the video. Hey, leave a comment down below. Right? My answer to this question at this time is X. Some of you might know. Some of you might get the answer right. Our goal in this position, we did good. Our teammate should have been there to challenge, so we're letting them rotate in to challenge like he is. But now our goal as the second man is to be close enough where after he forces this guy to do something, which is likely going to be a flick in this position, we need to be close enough to jump up after he flicks it and hit the ball back the other way. If we're not, we have failed as second man. We have failed our layered defense. That's the whole point of letting our teammate go challenge for us, is so that we get a free ball afterwards. But with how far we are away, if he flicks, we're too far away. He flicks and beats our teammate, he also gets to the ball again before we can challenge. So we don't get a free ball. He's beaten our teammate, and now he gets possession again, and now we're in a 1v1. Let's see how this plays out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We should be closer. We should be closer. Lucky he drops that ball. Okay, didn't need a double jump there. Right? Yeah, definitely don't need a double jump for this. Just single jump and save your flip. Like, use your flip to get good contact on this ball. If you don't need to double jump for something, you shouldn't, because you can utilize the fact that you have a flip to get more power on your touch and to change the direction of your touch. Whereas if we double jump, we can't do those things. So, and also the double jump, we sort of overshot this, which you'll see if I play it back. I mean, it's just sort of a skill. It's a skill issue, really. We just didn't recognize that, one, we can not double jump, and two, the double jump, actually, we overshot the ball. You see that? We overshot it. Okay. So how I would have played this is I would have gone up this corner here. Right here. I know this ball is going to bounce. So I am going to, rather than just hit this ball away from myself, I'm going to try to bait somebody in to come and challenge me and then hit the ball around them and try to get a beat, right? You should always be trying to beat somebody with your touches. This touch that we make, it doesn't beat anybody. It ends up, we're inevitably just going to be giving the ball back to all sanity. So instead, let's try to make a play where we're actually baiting somebody in and beating them, so that way we can get a 1v1 or get a 2v1. So what I would have done was I would have seen this as bouncing, and I can't get to it for a catch. You can barely get to it for a touch like you do. So instead, let's drive up the wall. So that way, as the ball bounces, we are advantageously positioned here, waiting for the bounce. Okay, the bounce comes up. It's at about this height. Off the bounce, where it's at, about this height. We're here. And we're in a threatening position, where if all sanity challenges, we can jump off the wall and hit it. Or, like I've been talking about a lot in my replay analysis, tried to come up with a name, right, with you guys in the comment for the maneuver. At this point, anybody who's been consistently watching the replays knows the maneuver I'm talking about. Somebody commented that we should name it the what was it, the fake flip? No, the fake I forget. If you're watching and you know who you are, you left a comment suggesting a name for the mechanic or the strategy. But essentially what I'm talking about is we wait on the wall in a threatening position, and if our opponent comes to challenge us, we can jump off the wall towards the ball, and that's going to back off our opponent, right? They're going to think that we're coming to hit it, and so they're not going to come challenge, because if they come challenge, they're beat. So you can back off your opponent by pretending like you're going to hit it, but then you can come back down to the ground and catch it as they back off. Or if they do just hard commit, then yeah, you jump off, and as they hard commit, you can flip it. You can flip at the ball and beat them. So my goal here is to try to bait somebody in. Try to get them to overcommit. You're in your corner, you're pretty safe. Try to find a way to take possession of this ball, bait somebody in, maybe take a low 50-50 if you have to. But best case scenario is we end up getting possession of this ball. The corner, your corner, is a great area to try to take possession of the ball, because if you fail, your corner is one of the safest places for the ball to be. So if you get 50-50 in your corner, it's likely going to stay in your corner, or it's going to shoot out towards midfield, where our teammate can likely deal with whatever's going to happen. So your corner is a wonderful place to try to take possession and start a controlled play. Yeah, that's the game. How do we end up here? Yeah, tough position, honestly. You have one small window to go for this, like right now. Oh my god, this tickle in my throat. It's killing me. But this is your one opportunity to go, and you just didn't expect your opponents to play this so closely. Tough, honestly. Tough position. Don't blame you too much for this one. But yeah, overall, that's the analysis. That's the end. Overall, biggest issue for me, I think, was overcommitting his last man 3 times at least that game. I think 2 resulted in a goal, and 1 should have resulted in a goal. If you're last man, your goal should be to buy time for your teammate to get behind you. Just like I was explaining in the last play, where you were last man and you weren't close enough to be in position to play the ball after our opponent might have flicked. You want to buy time, if you're last man, for your teammate to get back behind you so that they can execute that exact play. It's called layered defense. The first person challenges the first man. If the first man beats our second man, the second man, usually 90% of the time, gets a free ball, because in order to outplay the first man, if our first man did a good enough job, they have to temporarily lose control of the ball. They have to hit the ball. They have to put more speed on the ball. They have to flick it, hit it, whatever, to get it past our first man. And so usually there'll be a brief moment in time where, as second man, we should be able to get the ball for free. Layered defense. Quick plug, I got a video called I don't remember what it's called. I'll put the card on screen. It's on the end screen of like all of my videos. because I love promoting it. It's a great video. It's like 7 tips you haven't heard before. It's not titled that, but that's what the thumbnail says. And yeah, how you should play out situations as last man, as well as like a clip example, are in that video. So check that out. You'll get a real example of the right and wrong way to play last man. And then the other most recurring issue for us was hesitation, for sure. A lot of plays where we should have either just had a clean possession, but we hesitated, and so we just let the opponent beat us to the ball, or we had opportunities to go for the ball, but we hesitated and we didn't go, or we hesitated and then our opponent beat us to the ball. So yeah, hesitation and over committing as last man, which that's kind of a tough one because those kind of go hand in hand with each other, right? If you are told that you're hesitating too much, so you got to pick up the pace or commit to what you're thinking about doing, but at the same time what you're thinking about doing is overcommitting as last man, right? That's going to be a little tough for you to work on. That's a bad combination of mistakes to have, honestly, because like I said, if you try to play faster, you might end up overcommitting as last man more often, and if you're worried about overcommitting as last man and you're trying to work on that, that might cause you to hesitate too much. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge for you to grind out those issues. What I would say is probably work on not overcommitting as last man first, and then after you get a good feel for that and you become familiar with a lot of the positions and a lot of the muscle memory of how you play out certain situations when you're last man, then I would say start working on playing a bit faster and cutting out your hesitation. Or you can try to kill both at once. See if you can. Maybe you're a G, maybe you're goated, maybe you can work on 2 things at once. But yeah, I just think those two are gonna conflict each other a little bit. So good luck, man. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video as well as all you watching. Thank you for being here. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Comment down below maybe what you agreed on, what you didn't agree with, maybe something that I missed. Let me know in the comments below. Let our friend, what's his name again? Oh no, the wrong buttons, Mbappe. Let Mbappe know in the comment section down below if I missed something. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I'm not sick by then. Peace out.